Royal family live. Meghan and Harry criticized for acting like heads of state in New York. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have been criticized for acting like heads of state during their first public joint visit in New York. Royal author Angela Levin hit out at the Duke and Duchess of Sussex in the midst of their post-royal tour of New York. Taking to Twitter, she wrote, "Harry and Meghan are setting themselves up to be as important as heads of state and heads of government. They are not." Express.co.uk has contacted a representative of the Sussexes for comment. Meghan and Harry appeared in public together for the first time in months on Thursday, when they started a whirlwind visit of the Big Apple. During their first day in the city, they met New York Governor Kathy Hochul, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio and his family at the One World Trade Center. A few hours later, they headed to Midtown East New York City to meet the U.S. Ambassador at the United Nations, Linda Thomas Greenfield. Opening up on their discussion, the American ambassador wrote on Twitter, "Wonderful meeting with Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Important discussion of COVID, racial justice, and raising mental health awareness." And on the same day, they also took part in a roundtable discussion held in partnership with the World Health Organization, WHO. There, they discussed the issue of vaccine equity with, among others, WHO Assistant Director General, Stuart Simonson, Chelsea Clinton, and Lois Pace, the Director at the Office of Global Affairs, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. The high-profile meetings held by the couple continued also on Friday and Saturday. Prince Harry met João Lourenço, the President of Angola, to discuss issues close to the Duke's heart including the country's demining efforts and environmental issues. Yesterday, they kicked off their day of events with an important meeting with the UN Deputy Secretary-General, Amina J. Mohammed. The three discussed again COVID vaccine equity, climate action and women and young empowerment. Their visit to New York culminated in their attendance at the Global Citizens Live event in Central Park, during which they highlighted the importance of vaccinating the whole world in order to end the COVID-19 pandemic. While in New York, Meghan and Harry also visited a school in Harlem with New York City Schools Chancellor Maisha Porter to promote early childhood education and literacy. During this visit, they donated to the school 2 garden boxes filled with vegetables and herbs. They also extended further support through their non-profit organization Arch Ewell Foundation's partnership with Procter & Gamble, which will see the donation of health and hygiene products for the use of parents in need. Moreover, a washing machine and dryer will also be provided for the school to use for students' uniforms. The Duchess of Sussex also personally donated reading nooks to many locations for the non-profit Graham Windham across New York, to support families' access to books. Body language expert claims Prince Harry acted like a rock star at NYC concert. The Duke of Sussex has been described as acting like a rock star by a body language expert. Judy James told the Mail Online, Prince Harry was trying to rev the crowd with some warm-up man-style gestures, like cupping his ear to pretend he couldn't hear their agreements and yelling out New York side like a bit of a rock star. But James also claimed Meghan was the lead the pair on stage. In performance terms it was Harry who seemed to recognize his wife as lead star, gazing at her with eyes slightly narrowed to show pride but also performing some anxiety rituals like clothing and finger fiddling as he watched her more powerful speech, she said. Meghan Markle scolded by Queen after tiara tantrum, royal author claims. A royal author has claimed the Queen scolded the Duchess of Sussex after she threw a tiara tantrum. Andrew Morton, author of Meghan, a Hollywood Princess, has claimed Harry and Meghan's behavior in the lead-up to their wedding in 2018 caused tensions to emerge with Her Majesty. Mr. Morton added 6 new chapters of the book that was first published in the same year that the couple tied a knot. Writing in the Times, the author revealed the 40-year-old threw a tiara tantrum shortly before their Windsor Castle wedding. Duke and Duchess of Sussex reunited with Archie and Lilibet after trip to New York. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have returned to California after taking a return trip to New York via private jet. The couple met with global leaders and took part in an event to plug COVID-19 vaccine equity during the 3-day VIP tour of the Big Apple. Harry and Meghan concluded their New York trip by appearing on stage at Central Park's Global Citizens Festival. Meghan and Harry's visit to NY not a royal tour? A royal expert has slammed Meghan and Prince Harry's tour of New York as a glorified tourist visit. Royal expert Charlie Ray added on talk radio, 3 days in New York, and I think some of the media are getting overexcited. There are hardly any crowds there in any of the photos. There are more NYPD officers than anyone else. They are meeting dignitaries and staying at the lavish Carlisle Hotel, but it is not a royal tour? They no longer have royal duties. Meghan and Harry showed some signs of awkwardness during NY event. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's visit to the One World Trade Center marked their first joint public appearance in months. And, according to a body language expert, the couple showed some signs of awkwardness or nerves while in front of the camera. She told Express.co.uk, Harry, in particular, performed some jacket-touching rituals and barrier gestures to suggest he was slightly ill at ease in front of the press cameras, and some of his small touches, like the steering gesture on Meghan's back and the back touches inside the venue, as well as a couple of glances and words to her as they posed, suggested either a need for or a need to offer reassurance. Meghan's lack of response on one occasion suggested that first outing nerves might have been affecting her too. Their partial smiles looked rigid, and they were lightning smiles, vanishing as quickly as they had appeared. Meghan's reflective, somber pose alone at the rail looks iconic and moving. Apart from some small smiles and low waves to the fans, though, the couple looked unusually awkward for most of the poses. steering gesture on Meghan's back and the back touches inside the venue, as well as a couple of glances and words to her as they posed, suggested either a need for or a need to offer reassurance. Meghan's lack of response on one occasion suggested that first outing nerves might have been affecting her too. Their partial smiles looked rigid and they were lightning smiles, vanishing as quickly as they had appeared. Meghan's reflective, somber pose alone at the rail looks iconic and moving. Apart from some small smiles and low waves to the fans, though, the couple looked unusually awkward for most of the poses.